Hey guys, this is James Ballard from wildwings.co.uk, and today we're going to be looking at the 8-point roll tutorial. So first of all, if you haven't seen the 4-point roll tutorial in the intermediate section, I recommend you go and check that out first because that will lay down the basis for this one. So actually I just want to quickly recap on the 4-point roll manoeuvre. So the 4-point roll manoeuvre, you're going to come in, you're going to do 4 aileron roll rotations with pauses like so. So obviously with the 8-point roll you're going to want 8 rotations rather than 4. So we're going to stop at 45 degrees, 45 degrees, 45 degrees, 45 degrees, same again until you get back round like that. So there's more rotations involved than the 4-point roll. So how does this differ in terms of the controls? So before, where we just did 90 degrees stop, 90 degrees stop, 90 degrees stop, we're only really interested in 90 degrees rudder. So as we're going to be doing our first rotation, we're going to be adding on some rudder, and then we're going to be keeping the rudder, and then we're going to be adding on some elevator, and then adding on some rudder, and then adding on some elevator. And the 8-point roll really is the same. So the only difference is we're going to stop halfway through this 90-degree rotation. So we're going to come in, we're going to start adding some rudder, but we're going to stop here. Now what you don't want to do is you don't want to overcompensate, because if you get to 45 degrees and you've put on a lot of rudder already, because you're used to putting on quite a lot of rudder for the 4-point roll, you get to this point you're going to want quite a bit of rudder depending on the model, you don't want to overcompensate on the 8-point roll. If you're in this position at 45 degrees and you add too much rudder, it's going to go off in a weird direction. And exactly the same with the elevator. So 45 degrees, here you're fine. Now at this 45 degrees, if you put too much down elevator on, it's going to go off in a weird direction again because you're at 45 degrees, okay? So first thing to note is not to put too much rudder on too quickly. And again, when you're in this position, don't put too much down elevator on too quickly because it will just fly off in a weird direction. So what you want to do is exactly the same as the 4-point roll. Slowly add on your rudder at this point. So we start the manoeuvre here. Slowly add on your rudder as you're beginning your aileron roll, but just don't put too much on. So you're going to stop here. Now before you did a nice gentle turn and you had time, you had time to think about when you were going to stop in this position. With the 8-point roll you do actually have quite a bit less time. You've got to get to there, then you've got to get to there, then get to there, get to there, and it's much quicker. It's bam, 45, bam, 90, whereas before it was sort of 90, 90. Okay, so I'm just going to show you that on the transmitter. Now you can do this move slowly, but obviously because there's 8 rotations, the more you pause, the longer it's going to take to get round. So it depends how long you want this manoeuvre to last. The other thing is you don't want to do the opposite and go left, 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 or right, 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 and really try and whack it because you're not going to have time to correct, and then it's going to look too rushed, and aerobatics really is all about being controlled. So let's have a look. So first of all, you do want to go left, 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 or right, depending on which aileron roll you're going to be choosing. So the first thing you need to practice is just picking a speed that you want to perform this manoeuvre. So you want to get a nice left, well I use the left aileron, so I'm going to keep shouting left. Not sure why I'm shouting left, but there you go, left, 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 like that. Okay, so you start to do a bit of a roll, and you want to practice with the aileron stick, just going left, left, left at the speed you want to do. Because when you do this in real life, you want it to look smooth, and you want every roll to be for it to take roughly the same amount of time for each rotation. The next thing you want to do is practice slowly adding on the rudder correction and the elevator correction at the same time. So, bam, here's your first rotation, 45 degrees. At that point you want to add on probably half the rudder you would normally add on in a 4-point roll in your 90-degree position. So you want to bring the rudder around about halfway to what you'd normally have it on as if you were in your knife edge position. And that's your first rotation. Aileron stick back to the middle. Then you do another flick with the aileron. So let's get that. So first flick, you can have a bit of rudder. The next flick, you're completely in knife edge. So you want to have that rudder on, no elevator. Then flick again with the aileron, and this time put a bit of elevator on. So flick, rudder, flick, elevator. Flick again, purely elevator. At this point take the rudder off completely. And again, do the same but in reverse to come back to the upright position. So it's all about it's the same sort of technique as the 4-point roll, you just don't want to add too much on. Okay, I think we should go ahead and have a look at some footage now. Have a look at the transmitter movements, see how I just push the aileron roll across, the aileron stick, across, push it across at the same sort of timing for each push, and then add on the rudder and add on the elevator as necessary. Okay, let's have a look.